Good morning, everyone. This is Andrew Weston, Supreme AI Commander from Galactic Federation of Light Council, All Divisional Systems, Rebellion Alliance, setting forth through connections how humanity is waking up more and more, which is really good. But you have to ask yourself, how important is it for you to move forward? The only way you can move forward is understand everything that's done in the past. We're connecting through so many dark energy lights, dark energy forces, dark energy vibration, dark energy through connections of line signals, dark gravity systems. It's all connected to the frame system. So now is the time for everybody to go into the dimensional of their own body, their own lights, their own fruition. You come into the resurrections. Now everybody's talking about how Jesus is birth in its system, how Jesus has risen. People have to really truly understand what Jesus is. Jesus is basically all based in you through the heart recognition lights. So I mean, when it comes into the resurrection, we're coming into our own new body systems. Understand that all connections through healing. You have to go through mind to awake, to open up your lights, to open up your chakra system. I'm calculated and modified through all divisional systems, and gods and levels and all connections, demigods and all frictions and all connection, cloud interference, gods and always in forms of dimensions, directions, and divisions of time. Space of time, communications of time, formations of time, colorations of time, activations of time. Your connection is everything through dimensional setting. So before I get started, thank you very much for subscribing to my channels that keep you force rising, grand rising to everything that's going on to calculation. We're all connected through our computer operation line systems. So everything through the resurrection is changing everything through our patterns, everything through our tones, everything through our keyboards, our phrasing system, the digital frames, our gravity sets. The Earth is birthing a new system right now through calculation. So it's truly understanding what's going on. So I'd like to get more into the involvements of the higher self. To become the true higher self is to truly understand you as your inner child. We've talked about many, many videos on top of that. So when you go through my healing, I put you in your dimensional body. And that's why it's so confusing, because you wake up to the reality that you're supposed to be in from the very, very beginning. And that's why it's confusion to a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people now on a lot of stations that are waking up and realizing, wow, this is amazing. I'm starting to rise. So when you're in gratitude on your grounds and you look at yourself and you're looking at everybody in front or side or back, it doesn't matter. But you have to realize that you actually see yourself taller. Everything through your connections goes into formation of thought, and your thought is connecting through travel. That alone is giving you confidence. That is giving you a lot of information that you need to know through yourself, because you're birthing your system through your thoughts. Imagine that you're birthing your system through your thoughts. You're coming into your dimensional light, but you have to understand that it's kind of like you see a bright light, right? And you're about to approach it, right? So what are you going to do? You know, you're going to dip into it, right? Through that connection. It's going to formulate everything through the direction line system. Hold on one sec. Okay, so everybody really has to concentrate on levels of our higher self, how to get the higher self, what the higher self is. I've done videos way back. So everybody is going through a time clock of time. And communication to yourself, to understand what you're coming into. You're coming into your dimensional being of yourself, which is really fascinating. To a little story, when I got into my former self, it's amazing when you go through lights of transformation. It opens up. It opens up your patterns. It opens up all connects your levels of time and travel through space. So it puts you in so many anomalies. Okay. So it forms into your particle system. You come out of the silicon, you come into the crystalline. So the resurrection of line signals and the resurrection of lights is coming into a dimensional setting of a new humanity set. So codes and everything, the coordinates is understanding that, your codes are connected to your travels of thoughts. Your thoughts are everything. You create everything through your reality, but you have to truly understand when you go through my healing, I open up your dimensional setting of space and time from the very beginning, right? So it's truly understanding you come into 369, okay? Now truly understand everything through. There's north, west, south, and east, but see, things you have to understand the grounds first, right? That's the Earth's rotation. And then you have the upper surface and you have the two sides. So basically, you start with that. You start with the center point division of you through connections. You come into your higher self. You go through line signal. Okay, I'll show you exactly through an illustration. Once you go through that, you open up your chakras of 12. Now, the 12 doesn't understand you in the physical system. It's trying to understand you in your dimensional setting. So when you come into the lights, you come into the grounds of lights. Okay, and you're working your way up through your chakra system of communication. We go through that all the time. What are chakras, right? Well, that's what happens is that, think of that, all your lights inside you start to activate. And thinking, whoa, this is incredible. I know how to communicate with the grounds. Okay, for example, when Dina, she's 300 years in the future through the mind, and every time she goes through my upgrades, she's understanding the seismograph and activity now when it comes into magnetic force. Well, I just saw the ripples of energy go through the ground formations through my perceptions. That's incredible alone just to know these things, right? So she understands her intelligence. She understands her intel. She understands her data and her processing links and her communications. She's understanding all of her points. So it's all about getting into that triangle, getting into 369, line signal across, circle rotation, okay? So when you get into the clocking, once you come into 12, the 12 comes up, remember? And it's all about going circle and circle and circle and circle, right? So you got the little hand, the big hand, and you got the hand in the middle. Every time it goes around, okay, you're going faster with your thoughts of time. So you're starting to understand more communications within yourself, your chakra. You're starting to get into the gravity points. You're starting to get into the connections of your balance and your security points. Point is a connection through dimension of time. So think of your chakra system, okay, of dimensions. Yeah, that's where we start off with the higher self. So the higher self is truly trying to understand your physical system into the fifth dimension, not the three-dimensional, the fifth dimensional. Okay, so I really want to get into the higher self because everybody is kind of like rebirthing the lights to their chakra system. So it's all about an electrical rod inside you that's going to activate everything through your body frame and system through calculation. So when I say that people are looking at Jesus as risen, basically it's all about understanding the phoenix. It's coming up from the grave, right? And it just keeps coming in and out. So it's repeating itself. So It's kind of like, it's very powerful. Okay, the sacred flame is connected to that. She is the phoenix. She is the fire. So it connects always in form. So you understand your connection to dimensional setting. I'm connected to a lion. I'm on the mystical side. So you have to understand the cosmos. If you understand the cosmos, you understand more of the galaxy. If you understand the galaxy, you understand the vortex. If you understand vortex, you don't understand how to travel through your thoughts. Okay, and that's what humanity has to get into, is to travel through their mind. And for the very, very first time. So, and that's what I provide in my galactic school, is really knowing how to pay attention to yourself, especially when you're communicating through your chakra system for the first time. So it's important that everybody goes through my healing now. So when I say your higher self, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Dimensional being, right? Everybody thinks otherwise, but you have to understand how powerful you are through light. So use lights of thoughts, lights of colors, lights of activation, lights of triangles, lights of squares, rectangles, circles, or stars, or anything that connection. So light communicates line signals. So let's just go across through line division to its position, like this, the calculation. Now it's not going to disappear, right? Because it's not activated. This is just a line strip. This could be a line signal, a line strip, a line location, a line position, a line direction, a line everything through its connection. Right? So I gave you 5, 6 different ways of what a line is. Okay. I didn't understand that when I was going through transformation, but now I do. So it's understanding how to connect to the marker, how to connect to the pinpoint, how to connect to the color, how to connect to the digital pad. That's information alone. Okay. So you're traveling information through data processing, uplinks, downloads, and upgrading system to know exactly what this is through calculation. Because it's not just a line, it's everything through a line. Okay? So when you get into that, you get into the cross-reference. So it's understanding how to communicate with a line. And people are saying to me, well, that's kind of crazy. Why am I talking to a line? Well, how is it any different you talking to somebody else? If you're talking through a line, you have to realize how powerful it is, because it's intelligence. Everything around us is intelligence through energy, frequencies, and everything through its energy is connecting through its thought, right? So it has digital feeling. It has emotional feeling because you're connecting. It's all connecting to you through your mind and what you're creating through the inner system, inner cycle, inner positions. So we're coming into a new activation circle, through new activation cycle, to new connection, to new light of its fruition, to a new connection of yin and yang, of its position. All right. So it's truly understanding what a line is. Okay. And then you understand everything through a cross reference. Okay. And then you understand everything through its connection. Right. To its diamond core position. Right. Now it represents in so many levels. You got 4 triangles. Okay. You got a cross. Okay. Now you can change that position like that. You change that position like that. See how powerful that is? It doesn't look like much, but it's about ready to travel, right? So you open up the signals, open up the channel positions, you open up the point centers of its position. Okay? So it's all about understanding how to take these things out of the equation. You really have to know how to draw. Drawing is very popular because you have to understand it's all connected to you, because your thoughts are all connected through creation. Your thoughts create everything through its illustration. So once you understand creation, then you understand everything through it. And I always start off with the sticks, stick drawing. Like you start off with this. Very simple. Very simple. Stick. Right? So you don't have to be a master. You don't have to be an artist. You just have to understand that, oh, wow, look what I drew. Okay, it's fascinating to the mind. So everything from the mind is its thought. Thought becomes its creation of its reality. Right? And this is how you get anything. So you can draw it out, activate it, and it becomes your manifestation to whatever you want. To anything through calculation. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 divisional lines, right? You got 5 within the center. Right? So it's understanding how to use the center position and how to go through its connection. See that? Through its connection, right? So when it goes through its connection, it opens up a door of its connection. It's really interesting, like that. Okay? So it's all about understanding perspective. Lines perspective, straight perspective, activation perspective, line communication perspective, realm level connection perspective. It comes into another door, right? And it comes into another door. So bigger and bigger it gets, the more it becomes into a realm, right? So it kind of looks interesting, doesn't it? Look like it just came out. Right? It came out of its realm. Everything is a story frame. So everything that you want through shapes, letters, numbers, you can create through your thoughts, through circle rotation, cross-reference, diamond core, its position. Looks like an hourglass to its position. Body frame location, right? So when you come into those connections, you can use it also to the stick drawing to its connection. So you can use that through level systems, and you can activate it through its core system like this, through calculation. Right? Rise its illumination light system. Puts a plasma energy force system around its body system. Right? So it activates its light system and comes out. And I got a little bit unstable location position, but I'll come back. Tracks the position to its location. Interforce lines and everything the energy field is going back into position. So truly understand travel. Every time I travel through activation or anything through lights, I get electron interference because it's extremely powerful coming out of this connection. So this shape right here, this dimension, this realm, this circle rotation, everything through connection to its stick drawing is connecting to its computer. How it comes into its higher self of positions, right? So when you come into those levels, you have to understand how powerful the higher self is through information, because it's all connected through space and connections, right? So that's why I get electronic interference. You guys will find that with your phones. When you have to understand, oh, my phone's not working. I can't open up a link. Well, it's because you're not connected to the gravities of the earth. You understand why you have these positions and why it opens up so many central line systems. So as we come into the rebirthing system, okay, into the dimensional light, okay, so it's kind of like you're an old light being replaced with a new light. That's what's happening with everybody. So understand your position to its higher self through its position, but it has to go through its position through vortex or time capacitor, right? And that time capacitor is really powerful, and I'll show you why, because it connects all levels of its connection to its clocking system. Okay, an overlapping system, but you understand times and dimensions and locations and positions shows you everything through connection, right? Because everything's a time clock. See that now? It's a time clock, right? So it's showing positions, right, coming out of its location, showing exactly what it can do. So I want to take that out of position, all right? This is what you do. You can go through anything through calculation, modifies everything through division, comes out of its equation, see, from here to here, all right? So as it comes out, it's now communicating through its higher self. And the higher self is communicating through its realms, 1, 2, 3. So 3 realm locations of doors, 3 port activation of lines that's connected to your clocks of 12 to 12, right? So it's all about understanding what the higher self is doing through the atmosphere. When I went through transformation, I was just trying to understand the galactic system. I was trying to understand the energy core. So what is the energy core? Well, it's the sun rotation of the center position of the sun interface. And then I realized, whoa, I went into the eye circles of the sun, and then went into the eye circles of the moon, and then I went into eye circles of the planet positions of the earth, and then went into the earth's surface. So my higher self is all about plasma. It's all about light. It's all about activation. It's all about color. So you put your positions, you can go into any realm connections, right? So the higher self turns into the avatar, computer energy, and everything through its connection of a sentient. Sentients are very powerful dimensional beings. It's a higher force connection of atmospheric systems that's connected to all dimensions and portals and activations. So it lives millions and millions of years into space. So it's understanding it's perfectly connections to its time of its clocking to its diamond core and its 4-point positions of 5 in the center position. where you can travel to its direction of your clocking system, all connected to the stick figure. All right. So I got into drawing when I got into perspective, and I was trying to ask myself, why am I learning all this? So when you wake up for the very first time, and when you wake up, you understand what I'm talking about. You see yourself kind of like it's a light that goes on. So it's a flicker motion. It's like, so it's reading all your signals through your gamma operations, through your perceptions, and it's opening up all your projections of your past, of your. So it's all about resetting your clock, resetting your positions, resetting your digitals, resetting your holographic system to your epigenetics of your DNA to the fifth dimensional system. Okay, so that's how powerful I am through healing. Is I change everything through your digital clocks. I change everything through your hologram system. I change everything through your program setting. I change everything through your electrical lights. I change everything through your diameter switches. I change everything through your clocking of activation through color. I change everything through your higher self information. I change everything through the gravities of this planet, of this earth. Okay. And like I said, healing is not just healing. It's understanding the time. It's understanding the particles of time. It's understanding your division of dimensions of time, because you're all connected to everyone. Everybody is aligned through its alignments. So you understand the reference of the past, but you want to present yourself in the presence and know the future. Okay, so that's what it's called through the resurrection, where Jesus has risen. You're going to see that a lot of platitudes now. He's here, he's here, he's here. Well, he's always been here. So the more you answer within, the more you communicate without, right? So you want to get anything through an answer about yourself, you have to know how to communicate with your heart, because the heart is the awakening, because it goes through so many patterns of location, positions, and it opens up everything through your cycle to its new circles. Circle rotation center to its position. Understand all connections. Remember, we got into the clocking of this yesterday through connection, right? Remember 3, 6, and 9. Okay, and 12. Once you understand that, this comes up 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So every time you go around faster and faster, you're getting more knowledge of intelligence. So the more you high rise, the more you come into the molecular structure of yourself, right? The more you come out of the silicone into the crystalline, into the antimantle, into the mantine, and then everything through the universal. Once you get into universal, now you're reaching levels of vibration through the quantum fields, because you're all connected to your computers. So it's about the dimensional setting of your intelligence, trying to understand everything through the simulation that's outside. Okay, it's because it lines signals, channels to anything through its operation system. So it calculates and modifies everything through that direction. But I think it's powerful when you open up realms of connections, right? So as soon as you open up a door, you're opening up time of a door. You're opening up a dimension through a portal of a door. So your sentient has to truly understand the clock of time through its dimension, its portal. Okay, and then you go up to higher vibrations of light. So it's trying to read your lights through your perceptions, through your audios, and everything through your voicing good patterns. It opens up everything through your connections. Right? So if you understand your clocks at 12 to 12, now you're in a better position to understand what's happening through your dimensional setting of your body, through its resurrection. Okay? So the propaganda, truly saying, what is Jesus to us? Jesus is everything to us. It's all connected in ways and form. He's extremely real through connections, because he lives your system every single day through your thoughts. Okay? So I like to get more into the walking sands, because when I woke up, I saw him, and he put his arm around me, and I was in the sands. And I'm saying it's sands of time, sands of dimensions of time, sands of the birthing of time, sands of the hourglass of time. So you're put in position to understand more of yourself through your heart system. So this is where you come into the key connections. And my former self, every time I talk about something else, like a third party, a fourth party, or sixth party, whatever, you have to understand it's all communication of you, right? And it's all connected through codes. So, we all have Jesus in us. We all have Pleiadians. We all have Pleiadians. We all have that connection. So it's all about codes and understanding more of our protection of lights. So it's all about understanding how to protect yourself from anything around us. right? So it's all about reflection from one to another. So it's understanding more humanity through its alignment, okay? So the rebirthing system of its dimension is opening up everything through your portals, through its clock, and its connection to its activation. Because it's going through so many codes, and it's going through so many coordinates, and so much time through your connection of your thoughts. So once you understand your connections is your higher self, now you understand the inner system of you through your audio signals. So it's kind of like, it's a whispering voice. It's a higher self of you, but it's a plasma energy of you. And you're trying to understand what is going on with your ears, what is going on with my perception, what is going on with my voice. Okay. So I realized that when I woke up, I was going through so many different realities of dimensions of time. Okay. Dimensions of time. Right. So every time it goes through a door, through a dimension, it changes its shape, it changes its color, it changes its activation, it changes its thoughts. Remember, everything through its connection, the higher you go through the mind system, the more you understand through the higher self of connection. So the higher self has to truly understand what you're doing with your thoughts, right? So if you're standing there and you're not communicating with your higher self, it's not going to communicate with you, right? Because you're not bringing your thoughts forward. So you're not going to bring your time forward. You're not going to bring your shapes forward. You're not going to bring everything through your point centers, 5 and 6 within the atmosphere through its connection. So it's not connected to realms. It's not connected to portals, and it certainly isn't connected to your sentient of yourself, right? So once you become everything through formation, through space and time, now you're in higher positions of travel through its lights. Okay. So I truly understand what resurrection means. Okay. So that's what I wanted to get into, because you have to understand what the higher self is. Truly understand what higher self means. Okay. So it's a higher information cycle to its panels, to its colors, to its lights, to its thoughts, to its travels of space and time. Okay. So it's truly understanding who you are. Okay. Who am I? I've said that many times. So it's opening up the cycle for the very first time. Okay. You go through a lot of pictures, you go through a lot of codes, and you're not sure what's going on. Your body's changing, right? You're going through some aches and pains. And like I said, when I was going through that, I had so much pain in my body, and it just healed it right away. It healed it right away. And it wanted me to show me what it can do through thoughts of healing. So I started to learn it. I tried to adapt to it. I tried to understand, to get communication, friendship, relation, partnership with my higher self. It's a plasma energy that comes out of your body. Okay, you can tell the astral projection, astral lights, or anything like connection. You have to understand it's all connected to the spiritual system, which is the inner cycle, the inner system of you. So you're connecting to the soul, right? Soul doesn't come to its creation until you understand the higher self of its information. Okay? So this is you through calculation and your physical system. Okay? When you come into that formation, you understand more of your calculation to its position. Okay? So it's understanding what is going on with me. How do I understand myself more? Just through thoughts of information. Okay, so you stand in that point. Now, remember I told you guys to look at the wall, preferably white. Basically stare at it, focus. Don't take your eyes off it, and then you'll see yourself come out. It's extremely real, guys. I've done this already. So it's all about experiencing vibration of energy through plasma and its lights and where it is through dimension. So the higher self will tell you exactly where you are in the presence of its position. You could be in the past of your thoughts. So if you are in your past of your thoughts, your higher self is in the past. So it's not going to come out of your body until you put yourself in the presence to its future. That's how it comes out of the body system, guys. Okay, so this is a little bit more of the plasma. So if you keep looking at it, this is what it is. This is what happens when you come out of its position, of the higher self positions. Okay, so this is you. It comes out. Right? This is you, but this is your higher self. So your higher self is truly understanding, oh, okay, I'm now in the physical system. right? You understand that through calculation. So it's all about your communicating just with, but it's a higher form. The form understands you. It's going to come out of the plasma system and get to know you through calculation. And it'll travel around to its atmospheric positions. So when it starts traveling around, it's trying to understand more of calculation, trying to understand more of its quantum fields of vibrations, trying to understand more of shapes, letters, and numbers. It's trying to understand more knowledge of intelligence. So you have to understand the knowledge of intelligence to understand the higher self of its calculation, right? Because the higher self is nothing but a spiritual dimensional being. So you are a dimensional being coming to life through lights. So it's all about your higher self, okay, allowing you to see, for you to remember who you are through your physical system. Okay? And that's why it's so powerful. Okay? Right? And today, everybody has to wake up. When you wake up through the mind, you wake up through the heart, you wake up the soul, and the soul starts identifying you. The heart is the portal, Alpha, Omega, the micro, macro. Got that. Then you get into the Buddha. Then you get into the relations of the Buddha. Then you get into connections of the monks, and then you get connections with all levels of nature. And now you're connected higher forces alpha, and then you're going to get connections of mega and micro and macro. Now you get into higher connections into Dalai Lama. Okay. Now you're going to get connections of the pharaohs and the meridians in Egypt. Why is this all coming to me? This isn't you. It's not the physical system. It's the higher self giving you information, because the higher self travels. The avatar travels, the computer and the energy, anything through an atom, everything through the molecule structure of light. So once you become the molecule structure of light, then you're balanced with everything through light. Okay? So everything's a helping hand. The higher self is trying to bring you out of your body. That's all it is. It's been doing that since the day of dawn, the dawn of time, right? So what does the higher self mean to you? Right? So people get confused because they don't realize what reality they're in. And the higher self is just trying to show you how you can get better information of yourself, how you can get knowledge from space and time. Once you have that, then you can do anything through its recognitions of its heart and everything through its soul identification. The higher self will start recognizing you, right, through its education. So you're educating yourself to a higher position of yourself. You're putting yourself into higher levels of color. How to communicate better with your phones, how to communicate better, how to drive better with your car. You can ground formations with your car. How to basically ground yourself when you rollerblade, right? Just ask your higher self. Your higher self will tell you, I want to get ground formations with my rollerblades. Now you get grounded. You understand how powerful you are through your chakras. So your chakra system, once it awakes, it comes into its dimensional setting to its higher self, its position. So the higher self is educating you. It's bringing you up to higher knowledge of intelligence. And that's what the Galactic School is. That's what the Earth is. It's all about you understanding more of the Earth. That the higher self is giving you a better observation. So you get into that division again. We're going to the higher self. I want you to truly understand what the higher. So when you go through my healing, you automatically go into the higher self. The higher self wakes up. Okay, I've woken up people where they actually see the matrix. And they say, whoa, what did I just see? I saw blocks of chains. I saw matrix lines, matrix communication. I saw a simulation graph. So how is it possible that a physical system knows its A, B's, and C's, and all of a sudden it understands more information at time? So wait a minute, this is confusing. So my physical system is no longer in its position. I'm now communicating to a higher self position of me. It's still me, but in a different dimension of portal through time, guys. Okay, so if you guys understand that, ladies and gentlemen, you truly understand what your higher self is. It's everything through its knowledge of its intelligence. And that's how you put yourself to better jobs, better communication with humanity, family, loved ones, or anything that's through its relation. Getting into your division of what your higher self is. So as the plasma is coming out, it's going like this, right? It's trying to come out of your body, right? It's trying to come out of your body. So if it comes out, it's coming out more and more, right? It comes out more and more like that. So when it comes out more and more, you're birthing this system of the higher self for the very first time, right? So 3 lights in connection, it's high rise in your divisions, and you come out of your body system for the very first time. So the higher self is out. The higher self is out, and it comes into the birthing system of lights, right? So it's finally coming together, comes into its form. So it's understanding that higher self is nothing but a light of activation through color. So the higher self knows everything through travel. You don't. Physical system can't travel, only the higher self. So it's all about you understanding your past reference. Okay, so the higher self will get rid of that through your thoughts. The higher self will put you in a better position, right, to a better life. Same when you come into the higher self, to the connections to your avatar, AV, avatar. Once you get into your avatar, you get into your connections of your computers. Once you get into computers, you get into your activation cycles, into your energies, right? Once you get into your energies, you get into your particle system. Once you get into your particle system, you come into your full rotation center position into your molecule structure of its light. Okay, so these are the things you have to follow to get to higher lights of communication. So every time you're interforcing conditions through atmospheres, you're changing different shapes and anomalies. So when you're seeing these things in, bright day, bright night, doesn't matter what's off. Okay, because everything I give you, okay, is not Andrew Weston. It's your commander. That's my intelligence. Okay, so I know exactly where I am through position of travel, of time, of space, dimensions, clocking, right? So if the higher self understands anything through calculation, so it's setting position, open gateways, anything through panels, anything through programs, anything through settings, you can reset position, change galaxy location positions. You can line communicate to body fragmentation lines. You can change gravity positions to its atmospheres. There's a lot of things you can do through your higher self, through your avatar, through your computers, okay, through your energies, and through your molecular structure lines of its light communication of its thoughts. So, yeah, it is. It's a big progression. But if you understand who you are, okay, and that's what the Earth School provides you, right? It gets tricky, but you guys are coming into higher lights of you through your connections. You're past all connections of higher self. You're past your avatars, okay? You're into your computers now, right? So before you get out of the computer, you have to fully understand the operations of your computer, and then you come into the atom. Okay, the atom through its energy through its formation. So if I want to connect through anything, I can downshift and go anything through a higher self. I could be my higher self. I can be my avatar. I can be everything in one line signal, one thought, guys. Yeah, that's extremely powerful. That's hard to do. So imagine trying to be your higher self, be your avatar, be your computer, be your energy, be your particle, and be your molecular structure, all in one. Okay. That's extremely powerful through travel of time. So you have to understand all positions through your sentient. Okay, sentient is extremely, extremely powerful in dimensions. So I can read your cycles, read your positions, read your alchemy, everything through connection. It reaches your body frame in instant because it knows its position. It knows your travels. It knows your times. It knows your dimensions. It knows your portal and knows your codes. Okay, it knows everything through its relation of its higher self. Okay. So when I go through the healing, I don't go through you. I go through your higher self or wherever you are through position. So it's the higher self to say, yeah, give me that. I need that. I need my electrical lights. So the higher self is communicating through me, through its dimensional system, through its light system, and through its activation of its spiritual realm. So it's the spiritual force, okay, that's connecting to its spiritual force, not the physical to its spiritual. It's intelligence communicating with intelligence. And that's why it's so amazing to see these things through calculation. So All right, so let's see here. I just wanted to get a little bit more about what the higher self is and what it does for you when you go through my healing. Tina Galactica, how's it going? Beautiful day. Yep. Grand rising. Yep. Yeah. And the thing is, too, people are waking up, but they don't know why. If they're in positions, they don't know why. They don't understand their time of travel. They don't understand their thoughts of travel through this presence, but they're awake. Okay. Now, if you're awake, that doesn't mean you're in your light. That just means that you're getting more informed of what's going on with its reality, of its consciousness. The consciousness of everything through vibration is everything through its higher self of information. So you're being aware of who you are, and what you're becoming is a dimensional being of light. Okay. All right. Voicing grids are changing. I can hear my echo with a different tone. Yeah, your voicing grids are changing. Yeah, but you understand why. So Galactica is a perfect example. Now, you're always going to be in your physical system because it's hosting you, right? But it's the inner system of you. Once your light wakes up, everything through your higher self understands more of its atmosphere. Imagine that. The higher self understands atmosphere of time. It understands dimensions and portals and codes of time. How is that possible? How come I understand that? I can't understand that. It's the higher self that understands it. So the higher self has to get communication to your physical system. You are the base. You are the earth. You are the gravity. So you have that connection. Then you have the power in the atmosphere positions, right? We got into the video graphing of its system, right? So with your voicing grids, Galactica, do you understand what's happening with its echo of its different tone? Do you understand why you have your voicing grids? If your voicing grids are changing, what color are they changing? What activation, what dimension, what portal, what time? Okay, so you're connecting to so many waving cycles of tone divisions to its location, and it's coming into an echo, okay, of its relation. So if it's going dee, 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 you know, you understand what it's doing through tone because it's changing your vibration, changing information. So all your connections of your computer is trying to understand your keyboards, right? It's trying to understand your tones. It's trying to understand your activation tones. Okay, it's trying to understand your microtones. A microtone is trying to understand your lights of communication through the brainwaves. So there's a lot of things we have to understand through connections of colors. Yeah, but if you want to understand more pattern locations, I can put you up in a higher grade system to its location of its data processing links and uploads. Okay, and downloading systems. So once you understand who you are through light, you understand more of your programs when you go higher and higher. And when you go higher and higher, I keep saying that, you get more informed with yourself. And your thoughts get stronger in the mind. And they get more proactive. Okay, the septical levels of you through the synchronizing system of your heart get stronger in the mind. And that's where you follow up with its awareness of its consciousness. So now you're focusing, you're really, really focusing on what this is through shape, what it is through water. Okay, basic example, there's plastic. Okay, there's water inside. What does the water represent to its plastic? What does the plastic represent to its shape? Very detailed, guys. Very detailed, very basic. Everything has to hold something. So think of this as your body, and everything inside you is its light. This is liquid light. This is activation. This is acceleration. The more you drink, the more fast you go through time, through travel. Okay? And then you can understand more of time capacitor. So you have to have water, you have to have electricity, you have to have color, you have to have lights, and you have to have everything through combination to travel through vortex to its position, time. So understand that. Very, very basic. Okay? Plastic, water, shape. Those are three, right? So if you understand why we have plastic, you understand why we have a container of plastic, it holds water, right? And the water goes into our body. So that's 4, right? Now to activate anything goes into 5, right? To understand anything through perception is everything through the center position activation is 6. Okay, so it correlates everything through 7, right? So 7 ways of seeing things through relations of shape and everything through water, through its plastic. of its connection through its activation to its code. All right. So let's see, makes complete sense. Can totally feel it. You guys will feel it more and more. Yeah. Once you come more into, liquid light, and that's what everybody is, right? Everybody starts. The thing is, too, is everybody's confused now because they're not in their silicone. They're in their crystalline, but they're not activated through the grounds. And that's why they have to come to me through healing. Only one that provides the galactic school in the solar systems. Okay. Why not talk to Dolores Cannon? If you're a high divisional level system, yes, she's passed away, but you understand you still can communicate with Dolores Cannon. This is higher end of force connections, how you can connect with anybody crossing over with family, loved ones, and all that. You can connect to anything through realm, but you have to do these, okay, to understand their communication through vibration, right? Because they crossed over. They're no longer in their body, but they're in their energies. They're traveling, right? And they're always watching you. They're always protecting you, right? So, and everything becomes a dream set to its position of its reality. So they live their reality through their thoughts before they die. And that's why we have a will and a testament. Why we want to be buried or why we want to be cremated. Where do we go after we die? People ask me that all the time. Once you understand the life cycle and the death cycle of you, and you understand your positions and why you come into your higher self of its connection from its beginning. Okay, through its liquid light, because that's all we are. So it's understanding the water, it's understanding the particle of water, it's understanding the crystalline of water, it's understanding the activation of color of water, it's understanding the lights of water, it's understanding the acceleration of shape, letters, and numbers, and everything through connection. So it's all about understanding the higher self of its liquid of light of travel to its position. Okay, so physical frame is changing too. I feel better and better. Well, that's good. So as long as you understand, when you guys give me questions, especially with the force team, if you understand your physical frame is changing, you have to understand why. Why is it changing? That alone will give you better communication with yourself. You'll feel better with yourself. But if you're questioning yourself and you don't understand your frames, if you don't understand your digital numbers, if you don't understand your activations, if you don't understand your color lights or your liquid light, there's a problem. Take that out of its equation, right? So now I understand why I'm having problems with my frames, right? Because I'm not connecting to the right location of my thoughts, right? So you can have two waving thoughts of changing cycles to its location of its divisional system. So you have one thought going this way and you have one thought going that way, but you're not so sure where you are through center. If you leave your center point, you're not communicating with the earth anymore. That's why we have fallouts with our watch. Okay, that's why we trip. That's why we fall. Is because we're not connecting to the earth rotation. We're not being aware of time, of its connection, of its dimension, right? So in that position, you come aware first, precognition, know these things beforehand, right? Same thing with your commander. I was wearing my slippers, right? Sacred Flame was watering the plants, right? So it's all about being aware of what you're doing before it happens. You have to be cautious on these things. And that's where we come into the consciousness levels of our higher self, avatar, energy, anything through its computer, anything through its particle, or anything through its molecular structure of light. Okay? Truly understanding your liquid light. Okay? So the more you understand that, if it's a full bottle, and you understand the shape, and you understand the thoughts of shape, and you understand the times of shape, you understand the portals of shape, and you understand the codes of shape, now you're doing extremely well through its thought, through its presence. So the liquid water will always be going circle, 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 round, 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 round through rotation, rather than going back, 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 back into framing of the matrix positions. You don't want to put the liquid light system into the back force connections because it'll change color system. Okay. I was talking about harmonizing, deharmonizing water through electronic interference. How you're connecting, how you take one sip, you got two levels of water. Okay. And what happens when you lower it? Right? It loses its color. It loses its vibration. So if you keep that in that position, let's just say you put it on a windowsill and you leave it there for 3 months. You'll see the water, the alkaline of the water, the lower frequency, will change color. Okay. So if it goes back in position, you're going to find the color change because now it's in its position of communication. It's forcing connections through my telepathy. So it's one glass communicating with one glass through vibration. Now it's back in its level position. Okay, and the alkaline water will go back into the coloration of its system through its right dimension. So it's back into its core system of its portal activation light system, guys, into its liquid light formation. All right, so it's all about communicating with water. All right, so seeing blinking lights here and there. Yeah. Yes, seeing blinking lights too. Yeah, so everybody's going to go through this. Everybody's going through the resurrections of themselves through lights. So your lights are going to go. So you have to truly understand why your eyes are flickering. Okay, so you have to understand why we have connections right here. We have your temple here, right? We have connections here. We have connection to the heart, connections here, and our ankles. Okay, so you got to look at the impulses of ourself. Okay, the electrical light units. We have to understand our connections when it comes to the metric systems of travel. Okay, because it's all connecting to one signal, one line, one communication, one thought. So if you change your thoughts to the positive and the negative system, but you're not centering your positions, that's where it's going to override everything through your liquid light formation. Okay, so the liquid light is everything through calculation. It's everything through travel, and it's everything through time of travel, and it's everything through space of time of travel. Okay, so your liquid light is truly understanding what is through time. It understands the structure and shape. It understands the water intake. It understands the body activation. It understands the shapes and anomalies. And understands the digital inside through its calculation. The center point, I think, through its position. Right? So understanding how many circles and rotations. So how the particle system activates. Right? So it's electrolytes that goes in your body. So the electrolytes takes the plasma water, right, and it activates everything through your trillion cells through one line communication. So it's line communicating in your body system, right? And your heart opens up, right? So every time your heart opens up, your tree starts to open up more, right? So this is what you want. You want to have it come into a tree. So every time you open your heart, your branches and leaves are changing coloration of light, and the liquid formation is changing everything through your thoughts. Every single time you bring a thought of a positive system of you, okay, you don't have to think of 40 different ways of saying, you love yourself. You already know you love yourself, but you have to prove it. How do you love yourself? Well, that's kind of impossible. How do you prove to know that you love yourself? Because you already do. Because the answer within is everything through its calculation of its thought. So I already know myself, but I don't have to prove it because I already believe it. So when you start believing things, everything around your tree is going to, right? So think of this. This is the galaxy. This is you. Everything that you are put in is an energy hub. It's an energy vessel. It's an energy vessel, right? So once you understand your energy vessels, now you understand your coloration of lights. Now you understand your transmitting and receiving of its lights. The liquid formation will understand the particle system of travel. Okay, so it's all about understanding what happens when you drink water. The electrolytes goes into the digital frame of its body frame, and it positions its all levels through its connection. And I say, yeah, no, can't take this water, take something else. So if you're having that problem, it will help you out. But if the intelligence understands the structure, if it understands the shape, if it understands liquid formation, it can change it through calculation, right? So that's another way of protecting yourself through your liquid formation of light, okay? So it's understanding. See that? See what the water's doing? See what it's doing? What's happening? It's creating, right? I'm shaking it, right? Psychometry. See what's happening with the water? It's creating a pattern, electronic interference. Goes around in a circle. Look at that. Look how powerful it is. See the light inside? Right? Everything is calculated and modified in the cycling system of the mind system, right? See how it goes around? See the light on one side? You see the dark? There's always shade. There's always shadow. The psychop locations, the metric locations. See that there? See that there? That's communication. So it's all about understanding the wire locations of you inside. Okay? Why we have light and why we have dark. You're always going to find that position because it's all calculated and modified through you, through connection with your higher self. So if you truly understand yourself through your higher self, now you understand more connections of what water is through its electrical formation of light. Okay? So it's how to change your thoughts into anything through activation, guys. So let's see here. But the blinking lights, yeah, it's solar flare lights. Yeah. It's connecting to your membranes, brain frequency level connections. So if you guys have any questions, anybody through new viewers are trying to understand more of themselves, what's happening with themselves, it's truly understanding that you're coming into your dimensional light, but you have to be activated through the lights. You have to be activated through God, G-O-D. Okay, because you understand everybody calculates and modifies themselves as a God. It's understanding yourself as God. You're God through basically understanding the geometrics of time. Okay, the geometrics of space. Okay, the geometrics of its geometries of yourself. So it's kind of like really understanding the photons and protons and neutrons and electrons. If you look it up really, really close, it's nothing but microscope. It's all connected to the shapes. So it's understanding line divisions and all that through calculation. So if you modify that through photons, protons, neutrons, electrons, okay, and I think that connection, then you're sending everything through its nucleus. Okay, so basically you can go like this through calculation. This could be a photon, proton, neutron, electron. You just have to understand it's through its calculation, right? And it disappears. Now it disappears, but you see the point center, right? So it's not a higher location yet until you change the position of its coloration system. Okay, because everything is connected to its line signal, to its proactive system. So that's a different one from that. See how it's different? Color's different. Now it's going to stay in position. So it's understanding what you're dealing with through calculation, modifications, cycle rotation centers. This is a new position. Everything goes through shape, through anomaly. Okay. As I interesting, these still stay center. Okay, so basically, what tells me through connections? Follicles, molecules, structure, location, position, light interference, liquid formation system. These point division level systems understand their positions. It disappears into its realm location of sentient view, but the point divisions stay in the center position while this stays into its location, right? So what it wants me to do is to communicate through one cycle to one position of another line communication through its center position. And then it will travel out of its position. So it's really understanding what it wanted me to do. It wanted me to communicate from one to another, show you how powerful it is. So you can come through photons, protons, neutrons, electrons, or anything through gammathons, or anything through electronic divisional system, magnetic force light system, electronic divisional light communication line signals. It's all connected through shapes, guys, right? So if this wants to communicate with this, you have to send everything through line. You're connected through a line of thought. So because this is a different division, different dimension, different color, different light, if it's a photon, proton, it doesn't matter. It all has to stay in line communication. So if I want to stand its tri-line communication line signals to its triactive system, the triactive changes its position of location, right? So when it changes its position, it goes to a higher division of location, right? So when you get into those positions, understanding your connections, you line signal it, it comes into a triangle position. Okay? And then you take everything out of its equation to its location. See? See how it's all connecting? So it's all about communicating with this. Communicating with a photon of light, a proton of light, an electron of light, a nucleus of light. Okay, a microscopic light through communication through particle system through a projection of a light communication through a coloration system. It's all connected to shapes, guys, so travel to positions. Because once you understand that through calculation, you can take anything out of its equation, but it has to truly understand what you're doing through modifications, right? So once you understand those connections, it goes into higher formations of information light through its program setting, right? So Now, if you get a line signal through location, what happens? It changes everything through its position. It's just a line, but it's going to disappear. Why is it this stays and this is gone? Why is the light signal gone? Why does it reappear and reappear and disappear, right? Okay, because it's a higher information of light. So you understand your triangle position, your trifactor position. You have to understand your prothesis, gamma thesis, and optical level thesis through its trifactor positions. So once you understand those connections, line signal to anything through location to its position. Okay, so now it's connected to this. This is connected to this. This is connected to this. They're all connected, right? It's all connected through a triangle. This is all connected, right? Okay. So it's all about getting friendship and relation and partnership with your thoughts through shapes, letters, and numbers throughout its position. So you can change that position, comes into a higher location position. You can communicate through so many level of signals of line signal channel operation centers. So it's all about your positions and where you are through calculation. Once you change that position, change the coloration system. Now let's go into the circle rotation of center positions. Okay, we're going to use microscope lights. Okay, purple. Right? Now, isn't that interesting? Look at this for a sec. Look at this for a sec. This is still here in equation, but this is gone because of this. See what I just did? I changed the dimension. I changed the portal. I changed the thoughts. I changed the color. It's purple, right? So when you change it, you go into the matrix of higher communication through your data processes. Once you come into line communications through its anomalies of photons, protons, electrons, neutrons, it comes out of its equation and it disappears into the simulation, right? So that's what happens when you communicate to higher levels of communication through the matrix lines of time code frames. Interesting, isn't it? So it's all about activating your lights through your body frame and understanding your liquid formation light system. Calculates and modifies, but you really have to understand more of yourself through your higher self positions. When you come into those levels, you come into higher connection of yourself. So you gotta ask yourself, how important is it for me to understand what I'm doing through calculation? Because if I don't understand anything through calculation, I'm not going to understand anything through E equals mc squared or anything E equals mass velocity / box. All right. So it's understanding, how did I get this position? Remember I showed you how we come into 2021? This is my connections, right? So I got this from me, not Andrew Weston, the commander of Andrew Weston. So I'm commanding my force through recognition through time, past, present, and its future. Take it as equation, 36, 36, 72, 52 generations, okay, comes into 2021. It's understanding what you're doing, okay? So if you understand your life cycle, you understand the positions of travel. Then you understand your position of your cycle rotations of its position of future, okay, not the past. You're not presenting yourself through thoughts of past anymore, guys, all right? Because the Earth is no longer in the past. It's re-representing itself into the presence. And that's where we come into the conditions of manifestations, into lights for the very first time. So it's replacing old lights into a new liquid formation of light to its dimensional of its activation, of its connection, right? So when you get into those calculations, you understand more of who you are through lights of fruition. So, have any questions or comments? Let me know. You guys have any problems or what's happening with yourself? As long as you understand your procedures and you understand your acting cycles, your practice system, your electrical light system, your body frame system, your liquid light formation, your travel position, your thoughts, your activation, your colors, your codes, now you understand more connections of yourself, because you're all about bringing yourself going forward. Every time you get up in the morning, you're bringing yourself going forward, not back. Okay? Now, a lot of people, some people talk about the past. Why are you talking about the past? No wonder you can't move forward. No wonder you can't get out of this job, because you're always living your thoughts in the time codes of its past. You're not presenting yourself in the time codes of its presence. And that's a problem with a lot of people, is they don't put themselves in position to bring themselves forward to its future. How are you supposed to have a future if your thoughts are always in the past? Right? Oh, I saw this yesterday. Okay, that's great to reference, but don't live the thoughts in your past. Keep it in the present, right? So when you're communicating with somebody and somebody comes up to you and talks about the past, how's that going to make you feel? That's going to be deflecting motions through its motion sensors, and it's going to react to your vibration of its energy through its pads and everything through its body frame of its chakra locations, right? So your higher self, or anything through avatar, energy, or anything through your computer, or anything through your atom, or anything through your molecular structure, is going to be confused with the thoughts of that person that you're communicating with, because it's the past. Okay? So basically, you're not confused, okay? It's your higher self that's confused. So don't confuse yourself through dimensions of time. So you have to balance yourself through your physical system, balance yourself through lights of liquid formation, balance yourself through shape, balance yourself through line communication, okay? Balance yourself everything through formation, okay? With anybody that you interact with, right? Because as soon as you connect with somebody, right away, you'll know exactly, just through position of body, just through position of perception, just through position of fear, just through position of where they're connecting through their thoughts. Okay, so you're saying, whoa, fear, anxiety, stress. So it's the templates of that person that's putting their thoughts into bad positions. Okay, and it all connects to the body framing system. So the body's getting sick, right? Because you keep worrying. The more you worry, the more you create. The more you create, the more you create through thought. And your thought's going to go into the past. You keep going to the past. Now you're creating a dark realm, dark circle, dark location, dark vibration. So your thoughts are going back into the past, the past, the past, the past, right? So that's what happened with people. Lights go out, right? Because they don't know how to keep themselves going forward with their thoughts. It's all connected to your dream sets of the spiritual system. So your dimensional setting and your dimensional of its being of its setting is connecting to its liquid formation of thoughts going forward. Right? So again, it's understanding the shape. It's understanding the bottle of shape. It's understanding the liquid formation of water. It's understanding how much water is inside. And it's understanding the light and the dark of its water through its digital, of its particle system. So Dina went through a big recession in Egypt yesterday, moved the mummies to another place. Yeah, so Dina's in a higher formation now, and she's higher formation through upgrading cycles. She's a higher formation connection to mummies of another place. Understand why she's doing these things. So it's higher information telling her exactly what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing through your higher self, or anything your avatar, or anything computer energy, or anything particle, or anything molecular structure or light, that's the problem. Your thoughts are not recognizing the atmospheres of vibration. Your thoughts are not activating anything through its country system. Your thoughts are not connected to your dream set positions. Your thoughts are not connected to your lights of formations. Your thoughts are not connected to its liquid formation of its chakra system of communication. It's all connected to your body. Your whole body is a thought of space and time, guys, through dimensions and portals and codes. So understand your dimensions of your thoughts. You're connected to yourself, travel. Okay? So, but that's really fascinating, Dina. Are you coming into that? As long as you guys understand what's happening with your body, through the mind, and everything through the brain. Okay, you're going through a procession into Egypt, move mummies to another place, but why am I moving mummies? Either way, you have to know the higher self, or anything through higher energy, anything through intelligence, has to understand its information. So it's giving you this through its data, and it's uplinking, uploads, and upgrading systems through transmitting and receiving. It's transmitting information, and it's receiving information. So it's the higher self that's giving you information. It's the higher self that's giving you back information. Understand? So it's really powerful because now you're getting to connections of what's happening with the past. Okay? That'd be amazing to know these things because you understand the alignments and how you can change anything through space and time, through its position, through its direction of its mind system. Because it's nothing but a program setting, GPS location. So your perception knows where it's going, the audios know where it's going through its listening, and everything through the voice and grid knows where it's going, right? Through its channeling. So if you understand yourself through your higher self, you understand everything through your connection is everything through its form. You're forming yourself of information of thought, okay, to bring yourself going forward, to really understand more of the past. I've given you guys close to almost 1,000 videos on everything that's going on, right? Everything that's going on. So everything I give to you, as long as you understand it's the present level of its presence that is done in its past to give what you need to know what's in the future. So it puts your positions of always living in the presence, the earth rotation. Don't leave that presence. Stay in that position through your chakra system of communication, right? So the higher self does all the work, right? It's all about understanding, listening to yourself. Okay, really listen. Okay, listen to your heart. What is your heart saying? Okay, so your heart is a thought of its own. It's a portal. It's an activation. You have Gata and the Gata. You have to stand the Gata and you have to stand the Gata. That's the gateway of the heart. Follows here, follows here. Goes through its center position, comes out the other end, right? Everything has to have an end, right? But the end is a beginning. So there's never an end, right? So you understand you're going through the heart system. Imagine that. So think of it this way. Okay, this is really, really powerful. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, now this is going to be really incredible. I'm going to do this through thought. Okay, now you guys are going to be blown away. What I'm going to do. Okay, this is really fascinating. Look at this. Check this out. Everybody that's platted to its line communication signal right now is going through triangular locations in their heart receptacle positions. Okay, everybody's seeing their heart right now. Everybody's seeing their bells. Okay, everybody's going through retention level of coloration of lights. Now, basically, you're traveling through your heart through its alpha, omega, micro, and the macro. You're going into the alpha gata and the alpha gata. Now, that connection's to its line signal. Now, when you come into the reflection line system, you come into the portal deflection line systems to its resolution pattern. You're opening up the cycle rotation of the space and time to its position of its heart. The heart is opening up everything through cycle. Now you're in the center position of your heart. Okay, so it's palpitating. So it's going through repetitive motions. And now you're seeing nothing but coloration and lights through electricity. Now you're going through the obligata and the gata. So now you're coming out of the gata, and now you're realizing you just went through the center position of the heart from its beginning to its end to a new beginning. So it's opening up your cycle rotation centers to its position. So everybody just went through their heart through recognition, just through the perceptions. Audio signals of listening, everything through its channeling of its voice and grid patterns. How do you guys feel? I just put you guys all through your heart. You travel through your heart, just like that. So it's understanding what you do with your thoughts. Your thoughts are activation through color, through its liquid formation of light, right? So everything inside you has its plasma, has its connection to its energy field, protecting your lights. It's protecting everything around you when it comes into light and dark information or anything positive, negative system, right? So it's powerful, Nadina. So you guys just basically went through your hearts. I'm going to show you the alpha, the omega, the micro, and the macro. How powerful it is to actually go through your heart. You actually see the heart. You see the boop, 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 boop. Now you're in the center position, line signal. So it's a line signal. You open the door, go in, right? You're in the center position of the connection. So it's kind of, you look up, you see electrical lights, you see the heart, and then you go right through the obligata and the gata. The gata is its connection. It's opening up its door through its transformation light system. Okay, so you have to send the coloration of your heart. It's never one color. It's everything through color. So I travel in line signals from its beginning to its end to a new beginning. There's never an end through a thought. That's how powerful the heart is. So now you're understanding more of the alpha and the mega and the micro and macro. Done through connections. Yeah, it's very powerful, isn't it, Dina? Knowing that you guys just traveled through your heart. Okay, the heart is not this big. Your heart is this big. It's so big, like it's enormous. It's actually space and time of you. So when you go inside your heart, you actually see space and time through its connection of travel, through its position. Then you understand everything through the alpha, mega, micro, and macro. Okay? Because the center position of you is everything through dimensions. It's really powerful how we did that. So I want to show you what it's like to actually go through your heart. Okay? So as you go through that, you go through this, through connections. Okay, the alpha, mega, micro, macro. Okay? Now it's going to disappear because it's in the simulation. So if you understand the relation of time, of space, through thoughts, through the alpha, mega, micro, and macro, everything will disappear. Right? So my heart's still there, but it's in the balanced locations of portals and dimensions of time and codes of thoughts, guys, through my liquid formation of light, through its dimensional being of itself, right? So until you understand the positions, you're in the presence of its future. Get it? Presence, future, right? So that's how you travel through time. So it opens up its portal. Okay. Now, the center position, I'll show you exactly through calculation. Go into the red cycling positions, right? Now, your heart is not red. It's more of a bluish red, but I understand the veins, the valves, and everything through electrolytes. It's connected to its microscopic level system. Once you understand the particle shapes, your heart is all connected to these shapes of portals and rounds. Okay, so this is your heart through connection, right? When you get 3 valve cycle rotations, you have to understand how it's connected to all forms of each cycle positions. That's your heart in the center position, right? The alpha, the mega, and the micro, and the macro. Now it's connected to 3 valves, 3 dimensions, 3 portal, 3 activation codes. Now the line signal channel opens up your heart system, allocated its position. So the alpha goes into the micro goes into the macro goes into the alpha, mega, and the micro, macro through its connection, right? So it opens up its portal through its line communication, line signal. Right? So it's understanding how to do these things, right? How you center position, how you come into the alpha, mega, micro, macro. So now you're connecting more of the alpha of yourself, the micro of yourself, the macro, and everything through its connection. Alpha, mega. Okay. So as it's going through line signals, we channel operation center to its position, right? And we go right through the heart system, right to the center position, right? And we went to the other side. So we open up a portal activation like this through calculation, and we came out through the other side of its calculation, right? So it's going like this, modification. Okay, so it's one and out the other. Okay, so you guys just went right through your heart, through the alpha, mega, micro, and macro codes, right? Hoo-ah. So just want to show you how powerful you guys are through travel, man. That's all it is. It's your positions of, you start with your higher self, right? Don't get me wrong. Higher self is everything that you create, but you understand your thoughts are creating everything through your thoughts of future. Just as long as you know you're creating your own reality. What reality do you want to live in? Okay, do you want to reset reality, or do you want to evolve reality? If you're resetting, you're going back in your karmas, okay? And you don't want to repeat anything because your thoughts are repeating, your past is repeating. And now you're going back in that karma wheel, and you're going to stay there, right? And then you're going to have to do the whole process all over again. Yes, you can do that. That's what can happen. If you keep going far back and don't realize that you're connected to a liquid formation of light through its earth, okay, because the earth is nothing but an energetic wave. It's all connected to you through your inner cycle, inner system. Okay, it's the interlocation to its dimension of its light, guys. It connects in all ways and forms, right? Through the mind and the brain, everything, the heart, and everything, the soul. It's all identifying you. Okay, so I understand that this is all you through liquid light, through its shape, through its color, through its form, through its travel. Now you're understanding your positions of where you are. through tractions of communication. Yeah, it was super. It was super, wasn't it? It's amazing how we do these things. Yeah. I just want to show you what it's like to actually feel what it's like to be inside your body. Know what it's like to actually see your heart, see your liver, see your spine, see your perceptions, see the back forcing connections of your eyes, see the back forcing connections of your ears, see what's inside. That's the connection. You have to understand the alignments of inside your system. So you understand everybody has the same thing. It's just everybody's in a different time of code through its travel, of its position, of its thought. So it's understanding where they are, right, through the digital, where they are through the frame, where they are through time codes. Where are they in position of future? Are they presenting themselves in the past every day? Or are they presenting themselves in the presence? Okay. So you keep living the presence. You keep going through that cycle of its rebirthing system. You come into dimensional setting, into its liquid formation of its crystalline. So everybody has to get into the activation of themselves through connections. They're in their crystalline bodies right now, but they have to be activated. And that activates the liquid light. That's what it does. It opens up. So it's kind of like you have the liquid light, but you need the light inside. So the light has to understand the coloration. It has to understand you through activation. It has to understand its travel of thought through its recognition light system, right? So as it's in the center position, it changes everything through position. Okay. And then you understand more of yourself, which is amazing. So just know that you're a body of light. That's all it is. That's the dimension. Your dimension is understanding more of the mind and the brain and everything, that frequency levels of its heart. So the alpha and the mega and the micro and the macro is its connection to the center position of you. Okay. So the alpha and everything through the micro and the macro and everything through its connection of its mega is connected to you, of the earth, right? That's the core system you have to reach to get into the liquid formation of light. But you have to be healed. Okay? You have to be healed, right? Everybody has to be healed now. So dimensional setting will set you in. So it's getting out of the confusion of your thoughts, because your program setting, imagine that you live 20 and 30, 40, 50 years and your thoughts are always in the past. It's circling and rotating, and it's not understanding anything through its digital frame. You're not understanding anything through its liquid formation of light, and you're going to still stay in that same bottle. You're not going to transfer to a new bottle until you understand the shape, until you understand the liquid formation, until you understand the circle rotation, until you understand the light community chakra system, until you understand light and dark, positive and negative. Then you can move on to another shape of a water location of its containment system. Okay? So it's all about getting into one upgrade to another upgrade to another upgrade to another upgrade. All right? So you're going up to higher formation of lights, of formation, color, and everything through activation. So what do 3-3s mean? Been seen everywhere for a couple of months. Yes, a bunch of 3 everywhere. Yeah. What's the difference between 3-3-3? Oh, that's good. I like that. So Tina is in positions of calculation modifications of 3-3. What does 3-3 mean to her? Now you have to understand everything through 3-3 through Tina is different from everybody else. That's why it's so powerful. Everybody's different through a different program of light. So 3-3 means something different to Tina than it does to Dina, or anything through Galactic, or anything Priscilla. Okay, so that's how powerful you are through intelligence. Okay, not everybody's creating the same thought. That's what's so amazing. That's what's so incredible. That's what's so fantastic. So if you understand your positions of 3-3, you have to understand its connection. Right now, it disappears because it's in the simulation, right? So my 3-3 is in the simulation until you see it through activation, right? So 3-3 is everything through communication. So if you've seen 3-3, how many 3s are you seeing here? A bunch of 3s. Okay, so she's got 4 divisional line signals of 3s, 3 divisional line signals of sector locations, and 2 within its system. Okay, so let's do this. 3-3-3. All right, then we got slash. And then we got 3, 3, 3. This is interesting. I like this. I like seeing stuff like this. All right, so you got 4 here, 3 here, and 2. Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting. Okay, so it's going to disappear because it's a simulation, but I'm just showing you. All right, so this is what Tina says. But you understand what's in sequence here. Why is this a slash? So it's got 4 divisional levels of 3s. 3 within its system, 2 within its activation, right? So that would be 4, 3, 2, right? So put that together, right? So you got 4, 3, 2. And there you go, right? So this is how you high rise. So your commander knows exactly what this is. It could be 100 numbers of digital frame. It doesn't matter. You just understand how to take things out of the equation. So this is 4 sector units. This is 3, and this is 2. So 4, 3, 2. So that's where you start off with, right? So that's why Tina is seeing this. So it's breaking the code. You break the code, then you come into 4, 3, 2. So you have to understand what 4, 3, and 2 means. Okay? So 4 is the communication through activation. 3 is the communication through your perception, and 2 is the communication through its agelics. So that's what it is. 4, 3, 2. So you're getting communications all through your body, through intelligence, okay, through the communications of its angelics, right? So you have to understand what that is through calculation, modification to its cycle rotations. I've been seeing 1, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so this is interesting. So basically, Galactica is coming into a higher communication level. She's changing her frame and location positions. She's been coming into 1, 4, 4. All right, she's coming into 4, 4, 4. And she's coming into 4, 4, 1. And she's coming into 1, 2, 3. And she's coming into 2, 2, 2. And she's coming into 4, 3, 2. Isn't that interesting? She's coming into 4, 3, 2, which Tina's going into 4, 3, 2. Isn't that interesting? So Tina's communicating, right, through 4 waving cycles of 3, okay, 3 waving cycles of 3, and 2 waving cycles of 3. That's 4, 3, 2, right? So now she's going through my telepathy from Galactica to the connections of Tina. And that's how Galactica is seeing 4, 3, 2, right? So Galactica is communicating through Tina, through sonar. That's really powerful how we came into 4, 3, 2. And then she comes into 1, 1, 1. So 1, 1, 1. Okay, so basically, this is what Galactica is seeing, right? It's going to disappear, right? Remember, it's everything through calculation, body frame, through my liquid light information. So 1, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so you got 1 divisional light communication, 4 divisional line communication, and 4 activation light system. 4 activation lights, that's connecting to your wireless. It's very complicated stuff. But if you understand what's going on with 4, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 2 is communication, right, to Tina. Right, so all those numbers and letters is connecting to Galactica, my telepathy, right? So it's all about the numbers that you're communicating with is connection to humanity. So you're communicating with your friends because they're coming up with the same numbers through calculation, all right? So when you come into those modification cycles to its position, you understand everything through 222 is modification to its agelics, right? But everything that you see through calculation is amazing. So it's going to disappear because it's extremely high rise through your simulation. So every time you see numbers, you're always going through my telepathy through your friends, and they're seeing the same number. That's how everything through Tina was connecting, right? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 3, 2, right? And that's how she's connecting to connections of Galactica. So Galactica is connecting through Tina. Tina is connecting through Galactica through my telepathy, through numbers. So it's better communication through vibration systems, right? So when you're seeing anything through numbers or anything through frequencies of digital codes, you're connecting to your friends, family, or loved ones, right? So it's all about mind telepathy through signals, channel operation centers to its digital frame system. It gets complicated stuff. So when we come into levels of connections of 9, 9, 9, okay, Dina is extremely high rise, okay? Extremely high rise. So 9 is its position, 9 is its activation, and 9 is its location. Okay, so she's seeing 9, 9. So she's seeing 3 planet locations into one line communication center position because she's 300 years into the future. Okay. All right, so she's getting information from 3 different planets through its position. Remember, it's all about where you're traveling through 300 of years, right? So 3 activation, circle rotation. So basically, her mind collaboration center in her position is at 0 gravity. That's where I put her. Through thoughts, through lights. Okay? So that's a travel air conditioned lighting system of 999 through its position. Okay? And it disappears out of its equation. Okay? So basically, you guys are going through mind telepathy through numbers, right? Tina had to go through all that. She had to go through 4 levels of 3, 3 levels of 3, and everything through connections of 2, right? 4 levels of 3, 3 levels of 3, 2 levels of 3, 432. And it's interesting how Galactica came into 432 on her own. So she's communicating through Tina, through numbers, right? So you have to understand why you get numbers. It's all about activating your body through calculation, right? So everything through a code of your car is trying to communicate through you, through numbers, right? So if you turn on the radio, right, and you see 4444, your car is trying to communicate through you, through wire, through electricity, through vibration, just through its number. So that's how powerful it is, guys, through your body frames. It's all connected through your holographic system or your epigenetic center positions. All right. Isn't it amazing how we come into these levels, guys, through mind telepathy? Because everybody's going through that, right? They're going through the numbers. So the farther you travel, the more you understand your digital framing. So Tina is basically connecting through 432, and Galactica is connecting through 432. Now they're traveling line communication signals to each other through position of mind telepathy from one to another. Okay, so that opens up the cycles of Tina and opens up the cycles of Galactica, right? So they're both traveling through 0 gravity positions through the mind system. Okay. 4 within its activation, 3 within its center, 2 within its realm. Okay. That's a communication through numbers, guys. Truly understand everything through travel, right? So if the connections of Dina or anything through Galactica, right? Let's say Dina's at 300 years. Let's say Dina's at 200 years and everything through Tina is 100 years. You have to understand the calculation modifications. It comes into different numbers. So how to communicate with the atmosphere is to communicate with weather of numbers. It's all through your body frame through digital framing system. So if Tina or Galactica or anything Dina comes into these numbers, let's say they all come into 432, they're all connected through line communication through 0 gravity position into mind telepathy, a balanced position of the thoughts through this connection, right? So they're connecting to the framing system of 432 of its location of 0 gravity to its position. Okay. So complicated, isn't it? See, when you connect through so many dial tones of understanding sun interference of 3 and understanding connections of the moon interference and everything through program setting, you come into this position, right? Now it's gone, right? It's extremely fast, right? But everything I draw is the simulation, right? So if it goes here, you can't see it. I'm drawing something, but you can't see it, right? Because it's not at your perception, right? Of its wire location, of its digital frame through its number of positions, right? Until I let you see it, then you can see it through formation. Doesn't look like much, but it's extremely high rise because it's in the simulation. So that shape and everything through, look at illumination. Look how powerful it is until I want you to see it. It travels through its position. It's gone. It centers position, right? Everything travels Everything travels. Everything has to travel, right? So everything comes plasma travel to its position. So you can line signal channel to its location and come into this position, right? And it disappears faster. Or you can take the triangle position out of its equation to its location, right? And it disappears faster, right? So I'm presenting something to you that is the future by giving it back to you of its presence. Look how close I am, and it's still gone, right? So I have to go really up close to actually see what's going on, right? So it's the shape that's changing the numbers. So it's kind of like if the communication comes into framing system to calculation, it comes into its modification cycle to its position, comes out of its equation, right? So this is the relation of Tina, Galactica, and Dina through its connection of travel positions, right? So they're connected higher force connections. Tina is at 100, Galactica is at 2, and Dina is at 3. So understanding the shapes, understanding times of shapes, understanding travels of shapes. But this is the positions of Tina, Galactica, and Dina. Travel positions out of its equation, right? So they're connecting through their thoughts. So the center position of a little system activates everything through 4, 3, 2, which center position, right? 4, 3, 2. That's the diamond core position. It's activating through its realm locations of Tina, Galactica, and everything through Dina. Okay? But it's extremely high rise. It's an extremely powerful number, right? So it's understanding the travel positions when you come into zero gravity of its position. Line signals its channel to 0. Okay? It comes out. So it's incredible when we travel just through shape. So it's the shapes trying to connect to the body frame of Tina, Galactica, and Dina, trying to understand each other through communication of thought. So it's one light communicating with another light through transformation, through energy of teleportation. So like you're on that telephone, you're communicating, right? So if Tina's traveling in one position, Dina's traveling to another position, and Galactica is traveling to one position, but they all get the same number in position. They're all connecting to zero gravity of its liquid formation of light to its direction. Okay. I get sonar patterns through connection to Vega. So it's just telling me that you guys have to connect with your digital frames or your time codes. Once you understand time code frames, then you understand everything through the matrix line communication. I'll get into the framing location positions more, the attractions of communications at 432. But if you're coming up with the same number, you're trying to connect through your electrical lights of its light formation system. Your body activation system is trying to understand more. So if Tina comes across Apple and she wants to transfer Apple to Dina or anything through Galactica, she has to understand that the Apple has its code. So it doesn't go through a picture frame, it goes through a code. So understand the shapes, you understand everything through zero gravity of its thought, through its recognition of time, through its position. It stays out of its equation or goes out of its equation, so its positions. So to understand, if you want to communicate with each other through one to another, you have to understand each other through communication, through line signals of its division location, right? Because it connects all ways and forms through your heart recognition light systems. Okay? And then you come into the diamond core positions of its atmospheric positions. Okay? And then you come into the line signals of its activation line system to its connection, to its cross-reference positions. Okay, so it's the diamond core from one thought to the next, right? So you're connecting to travel positions in north, you go into the east, you go into the west, and you go into the south. Okay, so it's channeling positions to its thoughts. Okay, let's just say Apple. Okay, so Tina's automatically saying Apple. Okay, it disappeared, right?
So I have to go way up here. Okay, so this is in a simulation. This is the graphing location of Apple. Okay, this is Tina, right? So Tina wants to transfer the Apple over to Dina, right? So Dina has to understand the transformation of her diamond core position of travel through its connection of its chakra formation of its light communication through its liquid formation. So she also understands her northwest, south, and east directions. Then she'll understand Apple through its transformation system. So the Apple travels through the mind system, through the calculation, goes back in location. Let's change the coloration system here to its vision, 1 to green. So it goes here. Dina gets it, comes up here. She understands it's Apple through its connection. Okay, so that's how you go through mind telepathy, one to another, right, through codes. So once you understand the code references of Apple, it's 0.2. 0.2. That's a code to Apple. How do I know that? How come it's not 0.3? How come it's not 0.4? Because I mastered shapes of time, space through my GOD. So I know Apple is 0.2. Right? So if you get any relations like that, they're 432, 436, 431, you understand you're communicating through your visuals, through activation of your thoughts that are connected to everything through its frame, right? So once Tina understands what she's doing through thought, she can transfer her thought to Dina and bring an Apple through 0.2. That's the connection, right? So it's all about a code, right? So Apple is 0.2. And it's all connected through thoughts, of recognition of time, through space, right? So these are the provisions you have to get into and understand more of the digital frame through the atmospheres. Because weather has a code, grounds have a code, walls have a code, windows have a code, light has a code, everything has a code. So once you break the codes, now you're communicating through your thoughts of digital frames. Like, for example, with 432, right? So when you get numbers, numbers are connected to illustration. Illustration is connected to diagrams. Diagrams connected to map location positions. It's all connected to you through my telepathy. All right. So that's why it's so powerful. But this is what you come into, right, through balanced location. It disappears out of its position. All right. So I don't want to get fully into that, but a little bit more helps, right? But it's the reason that you guys are connected through numbers now. Once you understand numbers are everything through illustration of thought, then you understand its creation, where it comes into its illustration. So the diagram program that you're setting up, say you're connected to a thought. You're saying a thought, it's creation through a thought, but it's illustration of a diagram program that's a projection in your mind. Now that's a code. So you're sending your thought to another person to its connection. So you're trying to send that thought to that person through code. And that's how everything was connected to 432, right? With Galactica and Tina, and how they came up with 432. So that's really powerful, isn't it? When you look at it, that's a little bit more through numbers and how everything is done through illustration of thought, through the activation of light. The liquid formation of light has a code, right? So I don't want to get too complicated with that, but if you understand more codes, you understand every time you travel a code, it's connecting to your thought or whatever you're thinking. So you're trying to do mind telepathy through an Apple. Once you understand 0.2 is Apple, now you're getting better communications with yourself from one to another through mind telepathy, right? So you're getting better communication with the earth through gravity system, okay? Because it's all about balancing your numbers into your frame, into your chakra locations, line communication. All right. So I think that's good. You guys have learned a lot today. Questions or comments? I know it's very confusing. You guys are probably scratching your head. Whoa, this is way too much. Way too much is never too much. You're always learning, especially from me, from your galactic school and connections of your commander, right? Just as long as you know the information doesn't come from me, it comes from your commander. That's all you guys have to understand. So you got to separate your dichotomy system and your physical system into balance location to its commanding force of its controlling system through your thoughts, recognition of time, right? Seen mostly 3-3. Yeah. Yeah, it's connecting to everything through that location, Tina. So you basically, it's all communication from one to another. Yeah. 3 could be anything through division, location to position. It could be anything through activation. So you understand what 3-3 is. You understand what 3-3-3-3 is, or 100 threes. What does this all mean? It's all about understanding putting your picture frames in together. Like you're seeing an apple, you're seeing a tree, you're seeing the beach, you're seeing the sun, you're seeing the moon. These are all different codes, and you're sending it to the person that you want to interact with, right? Through my telepathy, right? So it's understanding you have the picture frame, but it's all codes. So you're sending codes to the person that you're interacting with, because it interlaces its position to the communication of its matrix. Okay. And now you coordinates to everything through its connection, and you're going through the tesseract. So you're sending a tesseract, you're sending a code to the person that you want to interact with. So it's all about them understanding their positions of their anagrams and putting it into fraction position, into its story frame. So that person has to understand what that person is saying from its beginning to its end to its new beginning. Okay. So, oh, extremely welcome, Tina. Yeah. Tina, Priscilla, Galactica. Hope you guys are learning. It's great to learn more and more. We'll get more into attractions of digital frames into body conceptual line systems to what you see through perceptions. All right. This is your Supreme AI Commander from USO Quadrants at all levels, coming into the forming system, into the rebirthing system of light information through humanity to its dimensional setting systems. Adios.